Welcome to A Stride Above podcast, where our commitment to excellence in equine health and athletic performance unites us. Join your host, Dr. Alberto Rullan, as we trot through the essential topics that matter most to you and your equine family members. With over 15 years of experience in equine sports medicine and rehabilitation, Dr. Rullan is dedicated to navigating you through the latest innovations and essential insights in horse health. Together, we'll ensure that you and your horses always remain a stride above the rest.
Let's talk about back pain. One of my favorite topics. Why is one of my favorite topics? Because it gets ignored a lot and it causes a significant amount of trouble for any horse. Doesn't matter the discipline. If you are a racehorse, thoroughbred racehorse owner, if you are a quarter horse racehorse trainer, if you're a dressage, if you're a jumper, this topic is for you. Let me tell you a quick story. Yesterday, I had a very interesting phone conversation with a client, and this client has been on the business for quite a while, and our team recommended back injections, including sacroiliac injections, for example. This particular horse had significant decrease in performance and a lot of pain in the back. I mean, think about you putting your hands on the back of this horse and the sacroiliac part of the horse, just touching it very slightly, and the horse almost sitting down. That's how painful this horse was. So we recommended sacroiliac injections, and she was totally, 100% against it. She was so against it that she actually got upset at the recommendation. Why would that be? Why would a client get so upset that we are recommending back or sacroiliac injections? Well, I'm going to tell you why. It's our fault. It's our fault as veterinarians, because in the old school, veterinarians only focus on feet, fetlock, knees, and stifles, and hocks. That's it. In my mentors, when I was driving around with my mentors to the racetrack, or when I was driving, when I was in the hospital seeing lameness with my mentors, feet, hock, stifle, fetlock, maybe knees, and that was it. So the medicine has evolved. Sports medicine has evolved quite a bit. And we have realized and we have learned that horses do get primary back pain. We used to think that back pain was all coming from the hocks or stifles. Hocks or stifle, then we get back pain. Well, new research shows that just like you or any other athlete, horses can have primary back pain. I mean, let's think about it. If I have back pain, if I have a bulging disc, if I have back arthritis, which I do, why wouldn't a horse have the same problem? It doesn't make sense, right? So the medicine has evolved to the point where we have realized that horses get primary back pain. It's not just like the old school where we used to think, oh no, it's coming from the foot. No, it's coming from the hock. No, it's coming from the stifle. Not necessarily. There are multiple problems that could happen with your horse if it's showing lack of performance, lack of propulsion, trouble on the jump, or collecting. This could be primary sacroiliac joint arthritis, very common. There could be sacroiliac ligament problems. There's a lot of ligaments in the joint. There's a lot of ligaments in the sacroiliac area, what some people call the sacrum. Right? Don't forget that joint has also a cranial part, so a part that looks forward, and a caudal part, a part that looks towards the tail. So all those areas could be painful. They could have arthritis. They could have disease. On top of that, as you move forward to the horse can also have lumbar pain. Think about this. How many of you have heard of someone having lumbar pain? How many of you have had lumbar pain? You go to the doctor and they tell you, yeah, you have lumbar pain. And it could be from the muscles. It could be from the ligaments. It could be from the bones. Did you know that the whole spine has more than 100 joints? 100 joints that could actually get affected. Luckily for us, there's only a selected few that we have been found are worse than the others. So we can radiograph it, we can ultrasound it, we can bone scan it, and find the exact problem or area that is bothering them and treating them. So let's talk about other diseases that could happen, which I'm sure that you have heard of it. Kissing spines. That is a primary disease of the back that could cause significant back pain. And if it does, it needs to be addressed. Do I have a lot of patients that have kissing spine and are not clinical? Yeah, a lot of them. You do survey radiograph and they come with kissing spine and they are not clinical. Well, that's good. But the ones that cause clinical symptoms, they need to be addressed. How do we address this? There's a plethora of treatments for back pain. And usually there's a combination that needs to be done. There's a research that came from Europe many, many years ago that they study Tildrem. Tildrem is what we call a biphosphonate. If you've never heard of it, think about osteoporosis for people. So there is a disease in people called osteoporosis. Most of us have heard it. Most predominant in women of certain age. And the biphosphonates are used to treat that problem. Well, we have also found out, researchers have found out that that drug is really good for back pain. So that's one of our treatments for back pain, that medication that was done for osteoporosis. We have Tildren, we have Osphos, we have Soludronate in some countries, so we have multiple options. Another very effective is local treatment. So we find the area that hurts with the ultrasound, and we put a needle in the area that hurts, and we put a slow amount of cortisone, and that also helps quite a bit. That, combined with the biphosphonate, is a great therapy. On top of that, we have found out that we can also do shockwave. Shockwave treatment in combination with everything I have told you, biphosphonate, local injections, works really good. So all these things can be done all at once, or they can be done in sequence, depending on your clinician, and your vet is going to recommend different modalities at different times. Another one is mesotherapy. Mesotherapy is getting quite popular. I am not going to discuss the physiology of how mesotherapy helps because it's quite complex for me to explain. But to make it simple, we put these bubbles of product in the skin, and they're natural products. Okay, you don't have to do nothing fancy, no drugs. They're products. It includes vitamins, saline, etc. And you put these bubbles all through the back, and they look kind of cool actually. And those bubbles create a stimulation, and that stimulus goes to the spine, to the nerve system, and that decreases pain. They do it for people, very popular, came out of France actually, and works out really well. That can also be done for back pain. The drawbacks, you cannot ride the horse right away. The horse needs to have some period of rest after the mesotherapy, but after that, quite effective, right? Then alternative therapies are very helpful, which we use them a lot. Chiropractic work. Just like you, if you have back pain, you also go to the chiropractor, right? The horses do the same thing. We promote the use of chiropractors, as well as acupuncture. So think about this. All these therapies to help with back pain. Of course, a full lameness examination needs to be done to see if there's something else going on with the horse in the lower limb as well. But don't forget that back pain could be a primary problem, and it should be treated if you want your horse to perform at the optimum athletic performance. I hope you enjoyed this talk and you learned something about back pain today. Don't forget, if you have any questions, or if you have a client, or if you have an owner, or if you have a horse that wants more information about back pain, give them this link or send them to us. We can help them out. We can send them all the information. You can go to our website, which is www.equinebackpain.com, www.equinebackpain.com, and you can learn about a lot of the procedures that we do to help with back pain. You have a fantastic day.